Alrighty, let's see if this works. Bam. How's it going, guys? Let me know if you can see me. Let me know if you can hear me. As always, there is going to be differences between every stream. And I may need to close the window because there's a lot of stuff going on outside. This is probably the first stream I've done ever that's been on time. Ever, I think. Cool, welcome. And it's become a bit of a tradition to unbox tiny, stupid 3D printers live on the channel. I'm just going to close this window a little bit. Someone just got a new couch. Of course they did. None of my deliveries are showing up. Welcome, we got Structure 7, Dave, Anthony, Matt, Francesco, Jack, Jay, Aaron, Titan, Builds, Wellbot, really good to see you. Hope you're doing good, dude. J Moss, holy crap, how many people are here? Welcome. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all safe. I have been pretty much locked down, as all of us, for a very long time. This is a tiny 3D printer that Gearbest sent to me 2 months ago. So they sent it, and it sat in an Australian warehouse for over a month, basically. It just sat there, no tracking updates, nothing, and it just showed up yesterday. And that's because, well, you know, the shipping, global shipping is all sort of up in a tumble, and one of our main air carriers, Virgin Australia, is in voluntary administration. Yay! So anyway, it made it here. We're going to unbox this. I'm going to hang out with you guys. It's going to be great fun. I have no idea anything about this. Basically, it's the cheapest. I think it's the second cheapest ready-to-run 3D printer you can buy, next to the E3 or whatever they're called, little plastic orangey injection molded thing. But it has a screen. It has much more features. It's $139 US, which is ridiculous for a 3D printer. But it's tiny, and it probably compromises in some areas. So we're going to check it out. So come along with me. I'm going to try to answer your questions as much as I can. I've got the screen over here. But don't expect me to see all of your questions, because I don't know how many people are in the chat right now, but it seems to be a fair bit. Anyway, welcome. First things first, it is 9:30 in the morning here in Australia, which is stupidly early for me. Because, as I said in my working from home video, I will often get up late and stay up late, because that's just how I roll. So, unfortunately, I do need the energy juice, but I haven't been having as many as I used to. Farouk is asking, do I do any giveaways? I do not. I sometimes work with manufacturers to give away stuff, but I don't give away things personally. Yeah. Over 600 watches. Okay, wow. Welcome. I'm glad you have taken the time out of your precious day to come watch me unbox this silly 3D printer. Right. Let's do it. Where's my knife? Here we go. Alright. So, this is the FULCRUM MINIBOT. All in caps. FULCRUM MINIBOT. As is this the case with many brands coming out of China. It's, as far as I can tell, only Gearbest carries it. I don't know if it's a Gearbest exclusive, but that's who sent it to me. I don't know too much about it. But it is very small, and I like small printers, as you can kind of tell. I have a thing for them. So, we're going to see how it is. See if it's any good. Hopefully it survives shipping. I have no idea. Oh, it's a package in a package. Alright, let's check that out. There's a fairly substantial ding in the corner there. That's okay. Yeah. Colin, we need more silly printer unboxings. I kind of agree. I've sort of chosen to take the channel in a direction during this time of sort of, I suppose, fun and almost distraction. Yeah, we've got enough stuff in the news and that keeping us busy, I suppose. I don't know how to say it. I just want Maker's Muse to be a place of empowering creativity. That's my mantra, and if I can't do that for you guys, and you know, then I'm not going to make content about anything else. That was rambling. Sorry, I'm still tired. So, this is the Fulcrum Minibot. A Core XY 3D printer. How about that? I've got a little close-up camera. Let's see if that works. No, it just shows you. Excellent. Okay, well, fantastic. What about this one? No. Alright, well, that was working before. Let me try... Nah, that'll do. Okay. Professional streamer. Fulcrum Minibot, I think it says. Core XY 3D printer. It's not really much closer than the main screen, is it? Can I increase the volume? Not really. It's already peaking. I can have a look at it. Properties. Close. I can... Like, it's already maxed. Okay, I can probably make it up a little bit. Maybe that. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe that. I don't know. I'll have a look at it in a minute. Yeah. It's really close to peaking. I just think some YouTubers just blow out their audio. I'm sorry. So, anyway. I didn't know this was Core XY, which is cool. Yeah, thank you. Volume is fine. Alright. We have... How about that? It comes with filament. Alright, remember this is $139 US. Like, it's pretty cheap. Fulcrum technology. How to print with the Minibot. Is that a white brand sewing machine in the background with the mini printers? White brand... So, from what I understand, they had lots of rebrands. It's a Princess, which was Japanese as far as I understand. A Princess Zigzag. It's actually pretty cool. It's got cams on it that can control the thread path. I might do a video on it in the future. But anyway, back to the printer. We've got some filament, which is nice. Some screws, power adapter, micro SD card, and some basic assembly. Looks pretty easy. 800 people, welcome. We're unboxing a silly printer. We've got some filament, actually, which is impressive. You're only getting a 200 gram roll, which is tiny, but it is what it is. A not Australia power adapter. Should have seen that coming. What is this? Is this US? That's US, right, guys? That's your one. Or was it UK? I can't remember. Might be UK. I can't remember. Either way, it's not Australia. So, that's useless. Forget the printer, we want to hear about the sewing machine. I will do a video on it. Mechanical sewing machines are really fascinating. Like, the engineering involved in them is just amazing. And the fact that they just work and work. The old ones never break, really. Really cool. Yeah, UK, I thought it was. EU. So this machine, currently it said there was a UK and US, EU and US version. Wow, you guys are going bonkers over that. Chill. I know there's a delay. It's okay. I'm not a power adapter aficionado. Alrighty. How small is that? It's so small. Okay. So as I said, I like small printers. I've always had an eye on the cube. Oh no. Okay, well I'll explain what's happened in a second. But anyway, I've always had my eye on the M3D Micro, which is the same sort of design. I always liked that, but it's never really had good reviews. Anyway, this is the Fulcrum. Its little foot just fell off, but that's sure. Why not? I don't know what that's from. This is absolutely tiny. It has a 70mm squared print volume. And this looks like a extremely early prototype. And remember, it's been in that box for a month with Australia Post. And it's suffered some damage. I didn't want this to be the case. But it always seems to be the case. Look at those belts. Yeah, alright. We'll see how we go. So, like I said in my buyer's guide video course, couriers are probably the biggest danger to 3D printers. And this no doubt happened in shipping. The belts have come loose at the top. But I have repaired printers before, so we'll see how we go. It's got a computer, I can't remember the name of it, plug. Thanks for tuning in, folks. That's it. Nah, we'll see how we go. To connect the hot end and extruder. It's a Bowden style extruder by the looks of it. A little Bowden down there. Good luck with that pilot POS. Yeah. Yeah, so it's, yes, Ian's saying it's 75, 70, 70. So pretty tiny print volume. What else do we have? It's really oily. Like, everything's dirty. I don't know how that would have happened. Hi, Bricks. Thanks very much. Oh, wow. That just got buried. You guys need to chill. What are my thoughts on the Ender 3 version 2, and do you think I'll get it? No, I don't think I will. Just want to quickly touch on the Ender 3 that's currently on Kickstarter. Well, it's not the Ender 3 anymore, but it's the newer one, 6 something. Very forgettable names. I would be cautious with Kickstarter right now. And just international shipping in general. Just because of how long stuff can take. So, yeah. They did offer it for review, but it wouldn't even arrive in Australia anytime soon, so I did say no. RS232. Yeah, it might be the RS232 plug. I don't remember. Wording is difficult. Yeah, alright. So, the thing that they did say is this machine has a touchscreen, which, you know, looks pretty cool. I will need just a tissue to clean all this grease off, though. Like, this is kind of awful. I mean, this is the first time I've had a train wreck unboxing, to be honest. It's happened before. Like, everything's coated in this thick... It's the grease they use for mechanical components. So I wonder if because it's come loose, it's just flopped into the rails and gone everywhere. It's on the bed as well. That's shocking. Like, how's anything gonna stick? Yeah, just trust my luck. Oh dear. All right. So in terms of the actual design, though, it looks pretty okay. Like, more than okay. It's got... I'm just going to see if I can just make this one the main one. Just for a second. There you go. So it's got a color touch screen. It's got... wow. A really weird belt path, which is broken, but quite a solid looking bed, actually. That's plastic though, not metal. Did flex quite a lot when I did that. The hot end looks standard, completely standard. No cooling fan that I can see at all, which is... Oh wait, no. There's a cooling fan at the back. Okay. So it's a cooling fan. I don't know if I can show you properly. Whoop. Whoop. Cooling fan there. You won't be able to see it. It's too hard to see. Too dark. That's okay. Yeah, I do also have some isopropyl somewhere nearby that can get that grease off, but it might also start eating to whatever they've coated that material with. I don't know. Yeah, it is cute. The only issue is that bloody belt, you know. So I am going to have a crack at fixing that. So see if you can see what the issue is. So yeah, so it's a Core XY, which means the belt path moves around a fairly complicated path, and it's completely come loose in shipping, which is a real pain. If I had received this as my first 3D printer, man, I'd be disappointed. So I'm going to have to somehow run it around these idlers. Oh, that wasn't too difficult. But I don't know what is keeping the tension. I'm not sure if it's just designed at a set length and that's it, or if there's a tension somewhere. So I'm going to have a crack at that. Please bear with me while we try to fix this. Everything is greasy. I can see why everything got greasy because I can just feel it. Okay. What's the I/O in the back? I assume it's just a USB and micro SD. I would say it's just that. Okay. Oh, down to 1. Oh. Wait, what? Oh, it slipped off these ones. Oh, that's interesting though. Oh, what? I see what's happened. That's catastrophic. So, you can see this rod here. It's on a shock mount and it's come loose from a little groove at the top that would stop it flexing like that. So that's back in place. That's arranged. But it's got a little groove that's come free from. So if it did it in shipping, surely I can manhandle it back into place. We'll have a look. Maybe I can push down on it to press it. Ooh, yes, perhaps. And now there's just a bearing that's pushed free, so screwdriver. Alright. Now's a good time to ask any questions if you have any. I didn't expect this. Anyway, good morning. If you're just joining me, this is the FULCRUM Minibot. It arrived broken from China. It sat in a warehouse. I actually don't blame China for this. It sat in a warehouse here in Australia for a month. And is broken. Find the self-repair mode in settings. Yeah. I'm sure that's how it works. I can't even get the bearing up off the surface. Well, that might be easier. So if we do that, you can see what I'm talking about. Down here, there's a bearing just here, and it goes into a slot in the plastic, and it's been shocked loose. Anyway, we'll go back to the less unflattering cam, I think. There you go. Nice hair. Yeah, thank you. I made it myself. Does it have a heated bed? No, it does not have a heated bed at all. Can I make a video showcasing other paid download models hard to find on Patreon? Yeah, I don't have any issue buying models. I do it quite a bit. I just try to print my own things generally, or print stuff that's accessible. But if there's a good artist that I like, that's, you know, related to what the content of the video is, I'll have no issue shouting them out and testing their models. I don't have any pliers. I'm just trying to wedge it off that timing pulley. There we go. That's what I needed. What happened to the E3D tool changer? E3D is suffering hugely because of the issues with the China supply. So that's why their Hemera hot end is sort of stopped and that. So I assume in general their products are slowing down just because of supply. That bearing is really stuck on something and I don't know what. Alright, I've got it close. I can't really show it because it's too small, but it looks like someone's gotten a soldering iron around the outside of the plastic enclosure to try to lock that bearing in. So clearly it's an issue they know about. I got it. Got it. Got it. How about that? Alright. How about that? Let's give you a closer look. Alright, so this is a Core XY. I thought I had it, but it slipped off that one. Oh, that's tight. I might be able to force it. Anyway, just to give you an idea, motors on these two sides work together to move it in various directions, but it slipped off that pulley. So give me 1 second while I just fix that as well. Sometimes you just have to be a little bit forceful. Okay, push it up and then push it towards me. Can't say I'm impressed, really. Like, no. There's no tension, ability to adjust tension at all. Everything's greasy. No. Almost. Just trying to force it back on the pulley. Kevin, thanks so much for the donation. Is there anything you can watch to manage seams? I'm not sure. I'll get back to you on that. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. Guys, I'm gonna have to grab a screwdriver for these idlers. So sorry. Just bear with me. I will be just 2 minutes just downstairs. So be right back. Okay. All right. Just Kevin, to go back to your question about managing seams, in the settings for your perimeters and that, you can choose to put where they are. You can say you want them in like a tight corner, or you want them random, or you want them aligned to a certain direction. And it really does depend on the shape. So for example, with a cylindrical shape, I generally want to align them to a certain area, so they're just in a single seam. But for most geometric models, you want to align them to the like inside corners, and then that way they're less obvious. But that's generally what I do. In terms of videos, I can't really recommend a single video. It's the wrong size. Yeah, I can't really think of a single video that manages seams, but in terms of seams and stringing, they're kind of in line. Wow, that was really loose. They're kind of the sort of in line in terms of that Ender 3 video I have with combing. Not combing. How it sort of stops the extrusion a little bit before stopping the travel path. I can't remember what that's called. Sorry. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just removing an idler. Like that. I'm putting it back onto the correct pulley. Like that. And making sure all the pulleys are actually on. Like that. And then I'm going to put this idler back in place, which should tension everything in place. Ryan, would I recommend the Ender 3 as a beginner printer? I used to say no, but they have definitely improved, and I do use mine quite a bit, especially with a direct drive modification. So yeah, honestly, it's a pretty good bet. Okay, coasting. Thanks, guys. You guys are the best. See, I don't really know anything. Yeah, so coasting is where it stops extruding a little bit before the travel move. Before the extrusion move, rather. Oh my god, this is terrible. Alright. I think we have it. I think Gearbest owes me like a check for fixing their printer. Oh, you suck. Is that really? Are they all the same? Okay. Alright. Pros and cons. This is the FULCRUM MINIBOT. It is $139 US. Pro, it's cheap. Pro, it comes fully assembled. Mostly. Con, it arrived broken. Also con, the top idlers here can't be tightened all the way, or they will bind up the bearing. So these are quite loose from factory. If I can show that here. They're quite loose, they're not tightened all the way, because if I tighten them all the way, it won't move. So you have to loosen them, which means they're going to come loose over time. Right. That's kind of inexcusable. I'm sorry. Now this is probably a very early prototype because I often get printers that are too early from the factory. So I will hope they fix those issues, because apart from that, it looks really nice. It's a fully injection molded design. It's got these cute little doors on the side that are covered in grease because that's what's happened to them. You know, totally gross. I was going to pop those off for now, actually. But, I mean, fully injection molded, that's pretty cool. And it's got this little print head that's Bowden. I don't know what motors it's using. Maybe we'll crack it open after we get a print. Let's get one print out of it first, and then we'll have a look. How about that? Let's try to get one print out of it. Maybe its fulcrum is stuck. Oh yeah, you are right, Hooded. Sorry, it is definitely HBot, not CoreXY. I don't know. They're similar but different. Yeah, the belts aren't crossing over each other. Yeah, you are right, actually. Yeah, so the advantages of CoreXY over HBot is the twisting, skewing can happen in HBot, but I think this is too small to care. The rods look like 6mm or so, pretty small. Where did you guys go? William, thanks. What would you do a video on tuning a Delta printer? I don't do much stuff with Deltas actually. You want to make it correctly square. That's all about the getting the measurements right between your 3 rods and your calculations right for your E-steps, because if they're correct, the trigonometry should line up to make it correct. But if they're out in any degree, then you'll get errors which will accumulate actually. So the biggest tip is to make sure everything is properly accounted for and measured, and your E-steps are exactly correct. But yeah, I don't really do Delta stuff, unfortunately. Thanks for the dono, but there's definitely other guys on YouTube that specialize, I guess, in more on Deltas. I'm not sure why I don't cover them too much. I just don't find their print volume to be all that appealing, to be honest. And we got Shivel in the chat throwing some Banhammer stuff down. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. This is a tiny spool holder. Alright, just gonna screw that on the back. So, a lot of money's gone into this, clearly. And I'm probably gonna get an email saying, oh, you should have checked with us before, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I'm not asking much to ship a product that is ready to go. But again, it's probably not their fault that it came completely ruined. I think that was shipping. The best thing about this print is the roll of filament. It's actually, this generic white PLA that comes from Chinese printers is actually really good PLA. It's actually not bad. I use it quite a lot. It's a nice white. It seems to be fairly dimensionally accurate. I don't know. It's not bad. This Bowden tube, though, bit skeptical, I'll be honest, guys. It's pretty long. It's pretty... For a printer this size, the extruder should be here, and it should just be like a little doop, which will probably be my first modification, you know? Oh, they've even accounted for that. They actually say line fix point, so they actually want it... If I remember the instructions correctly, you know, read the manual. It actually does want it fixed in place. Where does it say it? Yeah, so the instructions do actually say, yeah, wants the Bowden tube fixed, and the extruder wire, I suppose. It's a very thick wire for this poor thing to try to move around. Yeah, I need a haircut. It's always the case, isn't it? You sort of plan things and then stuff changes, and my hair grows stupidly fast anyway, so I was overdue as it was, and then now I can't really get one. So, yeah. It's long. It's annoying me, actually. Really, really annoying me. I really want it cut. It keeps going in my eyes. It comes with extra grease. Yeah, or maybe, no, it comes with less grease because all the grease has been rubbed on all 4 sides of the printer internals. These screws are really crap. They're stripping instantly. Or maybe the screwdriver that it's shipped with is really bad. I have to really torque on them. That's good enough. That'll do. I don't know what this is. Does anyone have any idea what that is? It says Fulcrum on it. You can't really see it. Fulcrum. It's this little rubber thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe the instructions talk about it? I don't know. Alright, well, let's turn it on. What else can we do, really? I'm gonna have to find a power plug. I usually have them just lying around, but yeah, I have one lying around. How about that? It's because I bring the printers in here to review them and do the videos, so I just usually have one there for the printer. Yeah, Apex, I wonder how good the print quality is going to be. I don't know. I'm not too hopeful at this point because it did suffer damage. We've got, in terms of I/O, just the micro SD and USB input, basically. Alright, power. Let's see how this goes. Let's have a look. Okay. So that's a pretty sick screen. I will say for a printer at this, it's an adapter. The voltage doesn't matter. For a printer like this, I've never seen a screen like this at this price point at all, ever. So that's a first for sure. MicroSD is already in it, which is nice. It does have some files ready to go. I don't know what they are, but it has them. The fans are slowly getting like louder and louder. So the print bed, oh, it's magnetic. Check that out. It's like removable. That's cool. It is so gross though. Alright, I have to clean that for sure. What I'm going to try is a preheat. So let's have a squares set. No, nothing to do with that. Tools, preheat. Alright. So, can't remember what control board LCD interface this is. It's very reminiscent of like the Tronxies and that. There is no heat bed, surely. Surely not. Well, there's an option to heat a heat bed, but I don't think it's going to heat anything. I don't know if you can see that. The plus and minus is backwards. So like you add by hitting the left hand side. That's annoying. Yeah, you can't flip the pad over because it's got, look, I'll show you. That's the textured surface for printing, and that's the glossy surface for sticking with the magnets. Okay, I'm going to get some isopropyl. You guys can keep an eye on this for me. Oh, I forgot I had an energy drink. Ah, yes. Yeah, hooded Herobrine. You are indeed correct. It is an MKS. I do recall using it on my Fallout 3D printer. That's where I remember it from. Having to learn how to modify the crap out of it so I could change the pictures. There's a distinct hot smell coming from it. Then we just add some flammable IPA to the general atmosphere. Hopefully this will do it. Where did I get isopropyl in Australia? I've had this for ages because of the resin printers. So, yeah, lucky me. Yeah, you can't buy this anywhere right now. It's kind of a rare resource. Who needs an energy drink when you have IPA? Well, I mean, it depends if you're talking about isopropyl alcohol or Indian Pale Ale, in which case I would much prefer to drink the IPA. But it is 10 o'clock in the morning or so. I don't know what time it is anymore. No, it won't cure the cold. You guys are funny. Alright, let's get some PLA in here. What? Alright. The filament path is like down and around. That's so weird. Like, they should have put the motor here so it fed up into it with a much shorter Bowden, but they've gone with a really long Bowden, which is very strange. And what? Cable is like massively in the way. Like, completely in the way. Oh dear. Oh Gearbest. What are you doing? Alright, well, I guess we're just going to lie it on the table for now. Alright, I am experiencing a lot of friction getting this up the Bowden, and it is a very long Bowden. But there we go. So if you can see here, there we go. So let's go to change filament. Well, it was a loading routine. We'll see if this just like overloads it. The fans are pretty loud. The fans really are pretty loud. That's what the spacer thing is for? Oh! Oh wait, it extends! That's what it's for! You guys are on the ball. Alright. Okay. I mean, it's still stupid. Yeah, it looks like it is indeed something that just keeps it... It's such an afterthought. Alright, well it didn't want me to manually feed it all the way through, so let me just release some of that. Well, having a loading routine is actually a lot better for a beginner. I'm just so used to them not having it. Plug books, would I recommend a FULCRUM Mini for a first printer? They seem to be having a pretty good reception, it's just getting them is very difficult right now. Okay, so there's a loading routine which is really cool. That actually worked fine, I just did it manually, but either way. Now we just need to home it and level it. So I assume you're meant to take the print bit out from the side because that's why those panels are removable. It's a bit hard from the front. So we're going to home. Yeah, you are right, it is an instruction manual, I just forget it when I'm streaming. So leveling looks fairly usual, fairly straightforward. So I'll go into the tools. Yeah, so it's assisted leveling. So which point starts it, I guess? Wow, that's fast. Okay. Wow. Okay, that was quick. I don't really want to ruin the manual yet, so I'm going to grab some paper. Instructions are for kids, but I guess this printer is actually really for kids, so it's good they have actually decent instructions. Alright, let's have a look. Oh, sorry. I kind of need to look at this while I'm doing it. I can't really show it. It's a bit finicky. Okay. Alright, so the leveling point is like... The screws here, the point it moved to is way off, which is really not useful, really. You want to be over the top of the screw that you're leveling. But regardless, we'll see how we go. It's a little bit... a little bit how's your father? And the points don't correspond with the images either. So it seems like the bed's really springy, so it seems okay. But oh no. Well, there goes the energy drink. Just give me a moment. That corner's a bit close. I have everything to get knocked over. Alright. Okay. That'll do. This is why I don't usually stream much anymore. Just nothing goes to plan. Do you think that having too much hairspray on a glass bed is bad? I don't really use hairspray at all, so I can't really comment. I don't really like the idea of spraying adhesives near motion components. I caught it mostly in time. Hey, Joel! 3 a.m. Friday? No, it is not 3 a.m. But it is still pretty early for me. Alright, let's do a print. Why not? Leveling's kind of okay. Could probably be better. So we have cube.g, fish cup, craps, buffoni, and apple box. What do you guys want to print? I have no idea what any of those models are. Meanwhile, let's untangle this and put it back on. As you guys said, that the thing does extend. You know, this is the third printer stream I've done in the history of the channel that's like been screwed from factory. Although no, technically I did the Pirate 3D Buccaneer, and technically that was already, the company was already dead. But I got sent a Wanhao duplicator that was like dropped in the factory, and it had, the metal was like bent and skewed. I know what you're saying, but that's still crap. Like, that's still really bad. Like, that, they should have redone that. That's really not good. Fish, vase mode, fish cup, craps or vase, fish cup. Let's do fish cup. People want fish cup. Alright. Ah, yes, the Hoonie. That was another one. Teresa is dead correct. The Hoonie was another failure. Thank you for reminding me of that horrible time. The Hoonie was, like, soldered wrong. They soldered the... what did they do? They soldered the limit switches incorrectly or something. Like, it was an absolute failure. See if you can get a close up of this. What? Trying to get you closer to it, but it's so hard to film because it's got no viewing amount. Like, I can't do any better. Yeah, you can't really see it properly. Mandrake saying got a generic 3D printer from AliExpress and it came with a pre-warped bed. That's more common than you might think, unfortunately. So my bed's close, but it's fine. Closer is probably better than far away on a stream, to be honest. Oh, there's so much Red Bull on the floor. Monster. Oh well. Ow. View it from the top. I can't really go high enough. Maybe. Hold on. Let's have a try. Doesn't really let me go. Kind of. Kind of. Still can't really see it. Yeah? Oh, that's the best I can do. Anyway. Thank you for sticking around if you have. If you're just arrived, then welcome. This is the FULCRUM MINIBOT. It's probably very loud on the microphone now. I just realized it's close to the microphone. This is a $139 US printer from Gearbest. It arrived broken, but we've fixed it. Watch the advert vid, they taped the Bowden to the case. I do see the tape there, but I mean, that doesn't help me. For the price, it's pretty good, but there was a few teething issues getting it going. But it's definitely quick. You're right. It's very fast. I'm just gonna move. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna shift him over here, so it's not as close to the microphone. How is it broken? The belts came dislodged. I don't think it was their fault though. I think it was just shipping. Oh, Therese, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. I will definitely get another one. There's still a little bit of the energy drink left, but it's more the fact it's on the floor now, which Lady Muse won't be impressed with. So I'm going to move this over here. Like that. It looks like a knockoff Ultimaker. Kind of. It's not the same mechanism as Ultimaker. It visually looks similar, but it is different. What's really interesting is the XY motors are down the bottom. So here, the motors are actually right down here, and they look like, I don't know, they look fairly large. They don't look like NEMA 14s. It's going pretty quick, eh? Like, it's not too bad. Joel. Dude, thank you. I have been craving a pizza. Thank you so much, man. You don't have to do that at all. Yeah, might have to get a pizza this weekend with that. Thank you. Bricks, thanks, dude. Did I not already answer that question about the Ender 3 version 2? I don't know if I missed that. Either way, I wasn't planning to get an Ender 3 version 2. I don't think they're different enough to justify. My original one with the direct drive modification is quite good, actually. Joey, thank you, man. Would I recommend the Cubicon single? It was a good machine when I tested it in 2016, but now I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. It's a really nice printer, but it's very complicated. For you guys that don't know, I reviewed the Cubicon single back ages ago, like end of 2015, start of 2016, and it has a mechanically auto-leveling bed, like it will actually tram the bed. But it's very complicated, and if stuff goes wrong, you're kind of on your own, in Australia at least. I don't know if you have a local supplier and supporter, maybe, but it's a very expensive machine. Lick the carpet. I do. This carpet needs it clean. Yeah, gross. The table on it's very wobbly. Will that affect print quality? No, you'd think so, but the printer is rigid to itself, so unless you're getting like resonances that are going to like amplify and that, it's fine. It actually, if anything, would be dissipating out some vibrations versus a really solid object, which would be reflecting them. I don't know. It's fine though. I printed on much more wobbly things than this, trust me. You should have seen the old stream. If some of you guys see my old stream videos with a grey table, that was literally an IKEA table raised up to its maximum, it would be like all over the place. Well, I'm gonna drink some of this drink. I do apologize. I need it. What's the feed rate? I don't know, but it's going at a pretty good clip. It's going at... what do you guys reckon? Maybe 60 millimeters a second for the infill? Maybe even quicker? And the one thing about Bowden where you know there's an issue with is when the infill starts to get choppy and not properly filled, but this is filled okay. I mean, slices have gone a long way to making sure that works. But, yeah, it's alright. It just dropped a little booger onto itself, but that's not really its fault. It was oozing a bit before the print started. Oh, Joey. Sorry, thank you. What do I get in place of a Cubicon? For that budget... Ooh. It's hard to say. Like, these days I'm leaning towards multiple Prusa Mark IIIs, honestly. Unless you really need the ABS capability, in which case the Cubicon single is still quite superior because it's got that enclosure. You don't really need that ABS capability. You can get multiple Prusa Mark IIIs and have a print farm for the same price. I just really like the removable print bed with a Prusa. I mean, it's become so common, like this printer has it, right? But, yeah, the thing that makes me hesitate about the Cubicon is the support. Is because they're so complicated when something goes wrong. That's the only thing. But yeah, in terms of the premium aspect of it, I can't actually name anything else. I would lean towards something open frame but high quality like the Prusa Mark III. Or I don't know if I'd recommend the Cheaty Tech X Plus I just reviewed. That's definitely not as high quality as the Cubicon single, but it did do the ABS and high temperature materials, so that's also another consideration. Hey Kieran, thanks man. Yeah, I did hear that they're open again for pickups. That's sick as. Definitely have to stop by. How long is the print gonna take? I don't know. It's a random G-code file. I do like some manufacturers show the time it will take on the G-code, but in this case they haven't. So we could be here for a while, it could be here for not long, I don't know. I'm just happy to chat and chill out. This stream didn't really go to plan, but none of my streams ever do. So, to revisit this, Now that it's working, let's pretend. Let's step back and pretend it didn't come broken and it didn't have issues, which probably wasn't their fault. Let's be real. You know, shipping has issues right now. It probably got damaged in shipping. Can't say it's their fault. Now it's working. If it had been like this from the box, that's pretty damn good. That's pretty cool. For $139. Like, it's not too loud. Let me lift it up. Let me show you. So, ooh. Okay, I'm not going to do that again. So, it doesn't have silent stepper drivers. It's nothing special. But if this is on a solid base, like a bit of concrete, a tile, even just a small tile, with some foam underneath the tile or something even, this would be really quiet. Like, this would be this quiet, really. It's on a, you know, a big table, which is making it kind of amplify sound. Core HBot can have issues with skewing when it's larger. It's only got 6mm rods, but it's small. It's really small. The only thing I really did complain about is that these idlers here, you see these little bearing belt idlers, they're not tightened all the way. If you tighten them all the way, the bearings seize up and they bind. So that's bad quality idlers. They need to be high quality so you can tighten them all the way so they won't come loose over time. Yellow stale, thanks dude. Is a used Wenhao duped i3 worth it for £50? Hell yeah it is. My original i3 would still be working if I kept it maintained. I gave it away ages ago. But yeah, honestly, the duplicator i3s are a great platform. You can modify, hack them. The sheet metal frame is indestructible. £50, go for it. It's worth it for the frame, in my opinion. Doesn't sound quiet. That's because I have a really good condenser microphone. It's, trust me, compared to other printers I've used, it's quiet. You wouldn't really, it's not as quiet as a silent stepper style machine with the high quality 256 micro stepping, because it's not in the same price league, but yeah, it's not too bad. Would I ever buy something from Snapmaker? Something like Snapmaker 2? I get asked about the Snapmaker a lot. They have offered to send a machine for review a few times. I think it's hype. I think it's overpriced. I think it's well designed, but I think it's... I don't know, like... I think it's a toy. I think it's a really expensive toy. When you look at stuff like this, right? 130 US versus the Snapmaker. Sure, the Snapmaker has like a much nicer design, but it's not much bigger print volume wise. And the one thing that stops me ever reviewing it is the exposed laser diode as the addition. So I don't think any of these companies with laser add-ons take safety seriously at all, and lasers can blind you instantly. So if any printer on the market has a laser diode and it's an open frame, I will never review it, just on principle, because you know, you can burn yourself on this. Sure, you know, you might put your fingers in and get hurt, but it's not going to be like a life-changing injury. Lasers instantly blind you easily, so I just think it's irresponsible and I wouldn't review it. Seems like it's quieter than the original Prusa Mark II. Yeah, so the Prusa Mark II, if you guys don't know, was notoriously loud. Even in silent mode, still stupidly loud. That's why I have my Prusas on concrete tiles, and it really does dampen the sound. That's why I said with this you could put it on a concrete tile and dampen it. The fans are actually quite loud, surprisingly. Like when you hear quite a lot of fan noise when you isolate it from the table. What's the print size? Rory's asking. It's a 174 or 175 by 70 by 70 height. Let's see what it says in the manual. I don't know if it says its specs. Oh, it does. Excellent. Yeah, 75 by 70 by 70. Cool. And it has It has Flyermint. Flyermint, PLA. So obviously no heated bed. It's going to be PLA only, which is totally acceptable for a first printer, in my opinion. Thanks, Joe, dude. I'm looking for a dual extruder that can do soluble filament. Hesitant to go with Ultimaker S5 or extended. Would you go with them or a different printer? Look, there might be some people in the chat that will disagree, but I have never seen much success with soluble filaments. The reason being is I assume you're talking about the PVA soluble support that dissolves in water. It absorbs moisture so quickly that during the course of a print, the roll can get waterlogged and then it just stops printing properly. Now, if you do it properly and you have desiccant and you dry it and you have a dry box and keep it dry, it's fine. But you can't like heat up PVA again really to dry it because it melts at such a low temperature. So I would try to get a bit more user feedback on soluble supports before making the jump, because in practice they sound awesome on paper, but in practice they're a real pain. You can get some really cool modified filaments from like E3D and that are like sort of semi-soluble, or they break away, so they're designed to just snap away. They're, in my opinion, a better option. But yeah, the Ultimakers are very expensive, but you'll get a very premium experience. The only other thing with the Ultimaker and soluble support system is the time. Because you're using two heads, the print time with soluble supports is significantly longer than anything else with just breakaway supports. So I'd get some really good actual like user feedback from people or those machines and what they think. But in terms of an IDEX system, I am really liking the CraftBot stuff at the moment. I'm testing their flow system. From the factory, firmware was a bit rough, but they're improving the firmware. The machine is flawless though. And that's a really nice IDEX system for, I think, a better value than the fairly expensive Ultimakers. But again, that's personal experience, personal opinion rather. Yeah, so Joel's saying PVA worked for him, but he had it in a food dehydrator while the print was going. So that's the trick. If you have any issues with humidity, I just struggle. I struggle with anything that absorbs moisture. I will print a nylon piece, and it will absorb moisture during the print, even if it's in the printer, which is hot. You do really need the right system for it. What's the print speed? We don't know. It's a demo G code, but it's pretty fast. People are estimating 70 or 80 millimeters for the infill, maybe 60 for the outside, 50 or 60. Pretty quick, pretty bold of them to have such a fast demo G code. Why don't I grow a beard? I can't grow a beard. Trust me, you don't want to see that. It'll be everywhere else, and it'll just be like stubble here still. What do I think of drying filament on a heated print bed with a box instead of an oven? I have thought of it. So I assume what you're saying is just heat a printer up and then put a filament on it. Look, anything hot will start to drive moisture out just because of how the process works. But ideally, I think you need an enclosure to really get that heat up and then make sure the air can vent slowly with the moisture. So the hot, wet air, I suppose. Yeah, I just don't think it'd be as effective. Really, the dehydrators are the most effective, cheap solutions I've come across. They heat the air and they drive it out slowly, so it's constantly circulating, so the wet air goes out and the moisture can leave, and they're cheap, and they just waste your power, waste your energy, but they work. So when I really want to print nylon, and I really want a good print, I will leave the nylon in the dehydrator overnight, and then sometimes longer, like 10 hours sometimes, depending how wet it is, and then run it out of the dehydrator into the printer directly with the dehydrator still on. That's like the only way I can get really good nylon prints. Otherwise, within a few hours, the moisture starts showing up again. Suki Rain, Sukei Rain, I don't know, sorry I pronounced it wrong. Thanks man, I really do appreciate it. I really enjoy doing this. I'm glad we got the stream back on track. I really am. I don't know. It's just my luck. Streams just always go crazy, but some of you like that. I don't know, some of you guys like seeing me suffer. I don't know, it's all a learning experience. I enjoy it. There's lots of fun. Buy a fake beard. I'll 3D print like a hairy lion beard and then like hot air gun it to my face. No, I'm not going to do that. That's a terrible idea. Hey Nazu, don't worry about it. Thanks for joining. At the end, it's all good. So we are printing a fish cup, and I don't know what it is. It's just the demo G code that was on the printer. It's got some fairly high infill, which is it's probably default. They've chosen a fairly low layer height, looks like 0.15 or something. But so far so good. Yeah, you can have a look at the printer right here. It's got this really stupid filament holder, which I'm not a fan of, but it exists. It's got the little screen there, you can see that. So, color touch screen on a printer that's less than 150 bucks. Thanks, Colby. Really appreciate that. And Dr. Bob, also thank you. I want to say thanks. Got the first printer DLC from you, Joel, Stefan, Thomas. Joel, Stefan, Tom, all awesome guys. If you don't already watch them, definitely go check them out. I really enjoy Stefan's deep dives on material properties as well. Stuff I've always wanted to know, but I've never been able to do, like Stefan does, which is so cool. Printed 200 face shields, sick as. So many of you guys are doing face shields. I really, hats off to you. That's amazing. There's a few teams here in Australia doing some really good stuff, like Me 3D, just around the corner, and they provide printers to schools. So they've taken them, because the schools are closed, they've taken the printers back and they've made a print farm to print face shields. Luckily here in Australia, we're actually not too bad now. There we go. So we haven't really needed as many as we thought we might, but it's still a crisis, and everyone around the world's doing really good, really good work. So you should be proud. That's really cool. Bills, why does this remind you of the M3D Micro? It's very similar, isn't it? Very similar injection molded design. Just not crap. Shots fired. The Micro didn't have the best reputation, unfortunately. It was fairly cheap, but not this fast. Yeah. I do like the design though, so I'm really happy to have for this machine to exist, to be honest. Am I going to review the Razer E2? No plans at the moment. I'm pretty much done with the reviews. I've got 2 more printers. But because of other things, I'm really going to stop for a bit. Yeah, no, the US is not doing good at the moment. So if you guys are printing face shields and you're in the States, keep going. That's awesome. I wish you all the best. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Dwayne, I do not have it in Blazor 2, but I do have a Flux laser cutter, which is also a review I'm going to test out soon. You're saying my hair's cool. My hair is ridiculous. This is just how it is. I used to rock up at uni, and if it was all like standing up and that, everyone was like, oh, Angus is having a good day. If it was all flat and boring, they're like, oh, Angus is sad, what's up? Something's going on. The table is hardcore wobbly. Yeah, it's a sit-stand table, so you can do this with it, right? Which is really handy. Unfortunately, it means it's really wobbly. Thanks for coming, Mitch. Appreciate it. See you around. And thanks Joel as well for stopping around. I hope you enjoy your supper. Have some ice cream and a Captain and Coke for me. Do I play the piano? Well, wait. How do you see a piano? Yes, I do. How did you see that? It's over there. I do indeed play keyboard or piano, whatever. This is similar to Easy 3 Nano. Ooh, yes, it is actually. I thought about that printer. I wonder if it's the same factory. They've just made some changes. That's interesting. Just gonna open the window a bit. Getting pretty stuffy. Hopefully it's not going to be too loud. Am I going to review the Prusa Multimaterial 2S? No plans. Multimaterial and me don't really get along. I'm interested to see how that machine that was on Kickstarter, the Fort, goes. I did make a video at the start of this year saying that 3D printing on Kickstarter is dead. Well, apparently now it's not. But I wouldn't back one on Kickstarter. I know a lot of people are asking in the chat about the Creality, the new 6E, whatever it's called, 6SE. I don't like that they've gone on Kickstarter. I don't think they needed to. So it's just a pre-order, really. It's like a marketing pre-order thing for them. Last I looked, it was like 500,000 Australian. It's probably way beyond that now. Just be prepared to wait, guys. It's not going to ship anytime soon. Even if they're ready to go, delivery will take some time. You don't have any protection. Like, Creality could turn around and say, oh, sorry, we're not going to send it. And you can't do anything because Kickstarter isn't protected. Like, you got no consumer rights. Whereas if you pre-ordered it from their website, sure, it's a different country, but you have a lot more protections there, like with your credit card and that. I don't know. It irks me that a big company that doesn't need Kickstarter is using Kickstarter. Can't say I'm a fan of that concept. When am I going to upload more music to my SoundCloud? My SoundCloud keeps telling me that I'm out of space and they can get stuffed because I'm not paying for it. So I think I've got like 10 minutes left. I might delete some older stuff and upload. I haven't really had much time to do music lately. There's a lot of stuff going on and you really have to be in the zone to do it. So yeah, if I make another whip or something, I'll upload it. But for now, nah. Is there a camera artifact or is the gantry waving when it moves back and forth? I would say it's a camera artifact for you, but let me have a look. Yeah, that's a camera artifact. I think it's like rolling shutter. That's definitely not. It's definitely not doing that. If I. Yeah, it's not doing that. That's definitely a camera thing. Oh, you could be right. There you go. First guess. Paradox is asking if it's a soy sauce cup. It probably is, actually. It doesn't look like the infill at the top of it in the bowl is completely cohesive, though, so it probably isn't the best soy sauce cup. It makes some really good sounds. It's like, wee 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 wee. Yeah. I don't know. It's up to you guys. Like, we can keep this going. I'm happy to stream for as long as you want. I sort of want to see what's inside it. I want to see what driver it's using, but I don't want to kill the print. So maybe I'll just take some photos after the print's done and put them on Twitter. What's my opinion on XYZ printing? XYZ printing, whatever. I can't say I'm a fan of the proprietary systems and the business practices, so I don't review them. I think you can get better printers for your money. Yeah, there's still a wet spot. No. So I don't know how long this print's going to take. It didn't say. So I know this table's very wobbly. Well, it's saying it's 16% done, which is not very... doesn't bode very well for us being here for a short period of time. Shivel's asking what slicer it uses. I don't know. I'm going to go on the record and say it's probably a reskin Cura. That's what they all seem to use. It doesn't have anything about the slicer in the manual, but I'm sure it's on the flash card. I almost guarantee it's Cura. It also says get more. Not satisfied with the models we prepare for you? It's all right. You can visit Zidian 3D, ZHIDIAN 3D.com to obtain more models which need no slicing. You can copy them to your TF card and print them directly. So that's sort of the concept that this thing, the 101 Hero, was kind of going with. You know, because slicing is hard apparently. It's not too bad, but that's what the 101 Hero was doing. So it'd be interesting to see what this is. Actually, the 101 Hero did it with Simplify 3D too, which is technically against their terms of service. You could go into the code and it was clearly sliced in Simplify 3D. What's the printing volume? It is what you hear. Fairly loud, not too bad. What for modern printers, it's loud, but in general, it's a fairly quiet printer, especially if you isolate it. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for coming around, Paradox. Don't stick around for it. Yeah, I don't know. How about this? Okay, I'll stop it. We'll have a look at the part that's half finished. We'll rip it open, look at the drivers, and then I'll restart it, and then I'll post the finished part on Twitter when it's done. Does that sound like a good deal? Print volume 75 by 70 by 70 in the height. Let's do that. So I'm going to stop it. We'll have a look. We'll crack it open. And then I'll restart it. There is a part cooling fan at the back. Indeed, there is. Alright. So let's do that. Alright. Hey, B Merchant. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Getting your friends into 3D printing. More people into 3D printing. That's the way to go. Okay, let's get this larger. Okay. So, that's why flexible print surfaces are cool. Auto exposure is doing us no favors right now, but it's alright. I'll have to get some better pictures. But for now, let's crack it open. Okay. So there's a fan in the bottom actually. There's actually a fan here. that's keeping the electronics cool, which is pretty cool. Right, so I'm gonna let that cool down for a little bit. You should never just unplug a printer that's been hot, because the hot end will get heat creep and probably jam. Yeah, Ivan, I know what you're saying about doing a quick vase print, but this is just what was on the SD card, and I have no idea what's on there. So without having to go through that process of setting up a new slicer, which would take even longer, I just print what's on the card, and they just happen to put very long models on the card. Alright, that's probably cooled down enough, so let's kill this. Doop. Let's unplug it. Probably doesn't really want to be like that. Put it here. Alright. So there's a few screws at the bottom. Let's take those out. Now, I don't know if doing this will, like, void your warranty, but here we go. Regardless, we're doing it. They've put little rubber things. They put little rubber things in it. Let's just see here. Gotta pull these out. Can a nozzle be changed easily? Yeah, it looks like a standard one with a 6mm thread or something. Why can't I get this out? Hold on a second. Your little rubber grommets can't stop me. It looks pretty well designed, I'll be honest. It looks pretty good. Yeah. You are now timed out. So there's 8 screws in total, which is pretty well designed. Held properly in each corner. Yeah, you upgrade it from VGA. Nah, HDMI, don't go DVI. DisplayPort. Holy crap. Jeff, thank you, you didn't have to do that. Then the end stops on Z. X and Z broke instead of repairing it. Ended up just buying a JG or A5. The A5's a pretty good printer, actually. It's a bit quirky, but it's not bad. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Glad you got past that hurdle. A lot of people get stuck when things like that happen. There's one more screw. One more screw. There's no guarantee it's just going to open up. That it might be a weird design. If this breaks, it's all on me as well. This is not anyone's fault. Wow, I've already threaded in there. I thought I had them all. I'll find them later. I don't know why it's caught on something. I'm assuming the motors are bolted to the top plate, so I'm not too worried. I don't... Ah! These are all undone. Why won't you let me... Just one corner's holding it in place. There we go. Okay. Oh, it was the SD card. Whoops. Well, I'm sure it's fine. Unless it wants the extruder assembly undone. I'd rather not do. Fine. Alright, I'm going to have to undo the extruder assembly as well. Which really should have been done with the filament withdrawn, but no time like the present. Yeah, I'm not opening a PO box. Sorry. It's not that kind of channel. It will go back together. I've reassembled extruders before. And if not, then I have other extruders to bolt on. There we go. One screw left. Yeah. No. What's holding it? Why? Ah. You know where it like angles in and it's not screwed in, but it won't come out? Alright. Here we are. Ta-da. Oh, how weird. Alright, we're unplugging stuff to get it out. Screws are on the floor. That's okay. Ta-da! Alright, so we have I don't know what else I was expecting in MKS base. Version 2 with non-replaceable drivers. So that means you cannot change your drivers. Which means you can't make them any quieter. The motors are interesting. These are they NEMA 14s? So this is a NEMA 17. This is a normal size, it's just a pancake style, it's a bit thinner. But these look like NEMA 14s or something in between. There is no such thing as a 15, is there? Pretty clean. Pretty good. I did bend the SD slot, but that's okay. That's my fault. That just bent back in place. It's a 32-bit processor, which is sort of what you expect for the MKS systems. Cool. I mean, that's not bad at all. Like that. So I've got the plastic cover completely removed. Interesting little pin out there. You can see all the little wires going into the connector, so a little breakout board. Pretty cool. Much, yeah. Much higher quality than, to be honest, expected for the price. It's not bad at all. So I have to put it back together. But I'm just going to take a quick photo of that as a reference. Where's my phone? It's in my pocket. Yeah. So I think they're NEMA 14s. Also, hi guys. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna put them back together, and I'll get that print going again, and then we'll see how it goes. It only came with a 2 GB micro SD card, which I didn't even know existed anymore. But there you go. Um, and yeah, do you want to stick around while I put it back together, or do you want to head off? I don't know. I dropped a few screws, but that's not going to stop me from putting it mostly back together. What phone is that? That is the Find X from Oppo. I can't exactly recommend it because they kind of stopped supporting it, and I can't get it fixed because the screen's cracked. But it's a pretty cool phone. So that goes back there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this off stream because it needs a bit of thought process, and I can't do it and talk. That's okay. Yeah, cool. I'm gonna head off, guys. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. This is the Fulcrum Minibot. As a summary, came broken, but we fixed it for $139. Pretty impressive. Tiny print volume, but the quality is decent and it prints quick. And I'll probably do a little extra review on it in future. I'll do a few tests. I'll put them back together. So far, it's doesn't look user upgradable at all. Nice color touch screen, but the drivers are fairly average. I don't know what they are. They're covered up, but they're fairly loud. They're not silent steppers. And yeah, hope you stay safe, please, and enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. I really do enjoy these streams, even though they go off the rails, because I'm just chaotic neutral, as always. But yeah, thanks for joining, and I'll see you shortly here on Maker's Muse. The next video is a keyboard. I upgraded and fixed my old keyboard because the C key broke, and I printed some keycaps, which is pretty fun. Nothing too crazy, but that's going to come out tomorrow, probably. Cool. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.